Hey everyone, it's Denise Fitzpatrick, Relationship Counseling of Walpole, and I'm hopping on today to just give a recap of the blog post that I put up a couple days ago. And what I talked about in the blog was the thinking traps that couples get into and how that can really create a lot of miscommunications and misunderstandings. And so the three that, while there are many others, the three that I focused on are the ones that I hear most often. Um, and they are assumptions, making assumptions, mind reading, and then this idea that they should want to. And I'll explain that a little bit later. So, as far as assumptions go, what I find is that so often with the couples that come in and I meet with, is that um, there are so many assumptions going on and such a lack of direct communication that they're basing so much of just their everyday interactions on what they think the other person is thinking or feeling or what their response will be. So, it might be that they know how the person is going to react or respond and they think it's going to be negative, so they don't even bother bringing up the topic. Or they make plans for something and make a decision about something, assuming that their partner will be on the same page with them. Again, assuming, but not really ever checking it out. And so you can see how, if this is the undercurrent in the relationship, and there's all of these assumptions being made on both sides, that there is going to be so much breakdown in communication. Um, and I guess one of the other things I was thinking is sometimes people will assume that their partner is feeling a particular way just based on their facial expression, body language, like we all do. Um, and so they assume, like, oh, my partner must be mad at me. I must have done something. And then you kind of act in response to that. So you might actually be annoyed because you're thinking they're annoyed at you. So then you act in the same kind of way. I had mentioned that in my blog post because you can see how that gets tricky. It's like you don't even know the person is upset with you. You've assumed they're upset with you. And then you act upset back. And then the other person might be picking up on your vibes. And then there you are, sort of in this quiet standoff of not talking to each other when there's really been no direct communication about how either of you are feeling or what you're thinking. Um, so that's assumptions. One of the things that I do with couples is really encourage them to, when they're having a thought about something, to check it out, to ask. I think I posted that on my website as well. Try asking instead of assuming, because you can avoid a lot of these miscommunications. Um, so the second one in the thinking traps was mind reading, and this I see frequently as well. So it's this idea that your partner should just know. So if you're wanting something from them, you're in a particular mood, or something like that, and you're wanting them to, talk to you, or you're needing a hug, or you're needing some comforting, or you're wanting a gift for, you know, a particular kind of gift for a birthday or something, and it doesn't happen. And then, so this might come out in session or even in couples arguments, and the response is, well, you should just know. And when I start to work with couples around this, and I say, well, basically, you're asking him or her to read your mind, to know what you're thinking. And when I say it out loud that way, they realize, like, yeah, that's kind of ridiculous. But in those moments, there really is an expectation that the other person is going to know what you're thinking. And then there's frustration and disappointment and annoyance because they don't know. So then we kind of get over that hurdle, and partners might be agreeable to, okay, this is what I'm wanting in those moments when I'm upset, or when this happens, or these are the kinds of things that will make me feel important and make me feel special. And then the other partner makes attempts to do those things. And now when they do them, the person will complain and say, well, you're only doing that because I asked you to. And so now there's this belief that, well, it doesn't count, it doesn't matter as much because I've asked you to, and you're only doing it because I asked. And this is the one that I think can be really frustrating, because what I say to couples is, if you have a partner that's willing to do exactly what you're asking them to do, then why discount that? That's like a gift. You're asking for something and they're saying, yes, I'm happy to do that for you. But there's this belief or distorted thinking around, well, it doesn't count if they didn't think of it on their own. So that's the third one. So again, these are the thinking traps that I see couples get into. And really the best way to get a hold of some of these things is to internally be more aware of your own thinking. And if you do find yourself making assumptions or expecting your partner to know, then those are the moments where you want to start being more direct, asking for what you want, checking things out. If you find that you're making assumptions, this can really lead to better communication, less misunderstandings, and each of you really getting more of what you want from each other. So that's all for today. If this video was helpful, I'd love it for you to like it and share it. And if you have any comments about what you've heard, I'd love to have you pop them in the comments. So have a great weekend and happy Father's Day.